Good afternoon. Thanks for joining us across the fence. I'm Fran Stoddard. One thing we've all learned during the past year is that even during a pandemic, life's emergencies do not stop. There are still natural disasters and unforeseeable accidents. And in these times of need, the American Red Cross continues its life-saving work. This afternoon, we're going to focus on the Red Cross of Northern New England and how it supports our communities and families. To begin with, I want to welcome Kevin Mazuzin. Kevin is the Executive Director of Red Cross of Northern New England, Vermont's chapter. Good afternoon, Kevin, and thanks for being with us.
Good afternoon, Fran. Thank you for having me.
So tell us first, what's the past year been like, and what changes have you had to make involving blood donations and other procedures?
Fran, early on in the pandemic, we quickly had to pivot and implement additional safety protocols that we are all very accustomed to now. Social distancing, frequent hand washing, mask wearing, temperature checks, and health screenings. Governor Scott originally placed the American Red Cross in his executive order and included blood donations and blood drives as essential. So we were able to continue to collect life-saving blood during the pandemic. But as schools, community centers, and churches began to close their doors, we began to lose those locations in the community to have those blood drives. I'm very happy to report that with the support of our community partners, we quickly transitioned blood drives to vacant storefronts, business offices that didn't have their employees there anymore. And some of our original locations were able to meet new COVID-19 safety guidelines. Additionally, our disaster responders began training to respond in the COVID environment. We transitioned all of our emergency shelters to non-congregate shelters by partnering with hotels for rooms and supported families displaced by home fires virtually with financial assistance and immediate needs.
Really remarkable. And in my town, it's at an automobile place that has extra room, dealer. So what is the Red Cross's greatest need right now?
Well, we just marked the 1-year milestone of the pandemic. We also marked a year of tremendous support of our volunteers by rolling up their sleeves to help patients in need. Blood donations remain essential to the health of our community. And the Red Cross is grateful for the ongoing support of blood donors and blood drive hosts during a year unlike any in our history. So to answer your question, the need for blood is constant, and volunteer donors are the only source for those in need. The Red Cross especially needs type O blood donors, but we are very grateful for all donations of all blood types, volunteer hours, and of course, financial support.
So it's pretty easy, but why don't you tell us how we can donate blood?
Well, the best way to donate blood is by an appointment. We make that very easy and simple by going to www.redcrossblood.org. Type in your zip code and schedule an appointment that is convenient for you. We encourage appointments in order to keep our blood drive safe and convenient for our donors, of course. Oh, and you can also call 1-800-RED-CROSS to make an appointment.
Great. And are there restrictions on donating because of COVID?
Blood donors must be COVID-19 symptom-free and feeling well at the time of their donation. You must be at least 16 years old to donate, and there's no upper age limit for blood donations so long as you are well with no restrictions or limitations in your activities. The American Red Cross blood supply is regulated by the FDA, and donor eligibility is also established by the FDA. Eligibility and restrictions can be discussed on an individual basis by going to www.redcrossblood.org or calling 1-800-RED-CROSS.
Great. And, a growing number of people, of course, are getting vaccinated. Does vaccination impact one's ability to donate?
Well, the good news is in most cases, there's no blood donation deferral time if you've received a COVID-19 vaccine. However, knowing the name of the manufacturer is important in determining your eligibility to donate. We encourage vaccinated people to bring their vaccination card with them to their next donation. Eligible donors who do not know what type of COVID-19 vaccine they received must wait 2 weeks before they give blood. But in most cases, there's no deferral time for individuals who receive a COVID-19 vaccine.
Okay, awesome, Kevin. Thank you so much. And we have another guest from the American Red Cross. So, Kevin, don't go away, but let me introduce Jennifer Costa. Jennifer is the Communications Director for the Red Cross of Northern New England. Welcome, and thank you so much for being with us.
Pleasure to be here. Thank you for having Kevin and I on to talk about all the exciting things happening at the Red Cross.
Right, so let's talk about an important upcoming Red Cross event. It's the Sound the Alarm program. What's that about?
So every 8 minutes, the Red Cross responds to a disaster. The majority of those are home fires. We know that they can happen to anyone at any time. Here in Vermont, we actually assisted 345 Vermonters after home fires last year alone. So while preventing home fires is a year-round initiative of the Red Cross, we take April to May to sound the alarm. So that's our campaign aimed at educating the public, particularly those at-risk communities, about the home fire problem. So we talk about things like common mistakes that can put you at risk, like leaving a stove unattended while cooking, being sure to close bedroom doors when you sleep. We also stress the need to have working smoke alarms on every floor of your house and testing those monthly. We talk about the importance of creating a home fire escape plan and then practicing that with your family. The point is that everyone feels comfortable should that fire happen because no one ever sees it coming. So if we can stress the importance of preparedness ahead of time, we know that we can save lives.
Fantastic. And so how can people sign up and participate in this?
So this year, like many things, it's looking a little different. In past years, we would go into people's homes and offer this safety education directly. This year, due to COVID, we are doing this virtually. So how that's going to look is anyone who's interested can sign up for a free virtual service by visiting redcross.org/endhomefires, NNE, and that's for Northern New England. And that's where you can make an appointment. It is really important to make an appointment so we can make sure we can get to everyone. So that's a 20-minute call with our preparedness experts. Again, we'll cover things like what to do before, during, and after a fire. Home fires, unfortunately, claim 7 lives every day, but we feel strongly that through this education, we're able to improve that statistic.
That's terrific. I hope a lot of people sign up and so they know more about what to do. And of course, Kevin talked about having places for people to stay if there is a fire in your home. But you know, you are a volunteer-based organization. What do you need volunteers to do?
So the Red Cross relies heavily on our amazing core of volunteers to carry out our mission. In fact, most people don't know this, but 90% of our workforce are volunteers. And right now in Vermont, we have 323 folks volunteering with us, and we're so grateful for that. They're engaged in all sorts of activities like responding to home fires and other disasters. So that means making sure a family's immediate needs are met, setting up shelters, handing out food and water. Sometimes these disasters happen within Vermont's borders, but there are also opportunities for our volunteers to deploy elsewhere, like say, for example, where a hurricane hits or a wildfire strikes. So the need locally, we're looking to fill what we call disaster action team spots in Grand Isle, Rutland, and the Upper Valley areas. That's just one opportunity. Volunteers can also support blood collections that Kevin was just talking about by welcoming our donors at our Red Cross facilities and our mobile blood drives, taking temperatures. Now that we're in COVID times, it's an important screening mechanism. We also have a high priority need right now for transportation specialists. So those are the people who actually deliver the blood products from our facilities to local hospitals. The greatest need right now for that is in Addison, Essex, Lamoille, Orleans, Rutland, Washington, and Windham counties. And then, of course, if folks are not comfortable volunteering in person, we understand that, and we have a variety of volunteer from home or virtual positions. Those can be in the areas of administration, fundraising, volunteer recognition. There are even some opportunities to deploy virtually in specialty fields like disaster mental health, for example.
Fantastic. And you're, so drivers, that's so interesting, people to
Yeah.
deliver the blood. You're offering a unique opportunity next week, April 19th, for potential volunteers. So what's going on with that?
So next week is National Volunteer Week, and it's an opportunity for us at the Red Cross to highlight the incredible work and commitment of our volunteers, but it's also a chance for them to tell their stories. So on April 19th, we're hosting a free virtual Voice of Volunteerism panel. It's an hour-long discussion that will allow Red Cross staff, both paid and volunteer, to talk about their experiences with service and share how others can join them in their mission. So all you have to do, I believe the details may be on the screen, is you just need to send an email to volunteernne@redcross.org. That's to register. After you do that, you'll get a link that will take you to the virtual event, and that's from 5 to 6 on April 19th. We're really looking forward to a great, robust conversation and some very powerful tales from the trenches, if you will.
Right, about all the ways that people can volunteer. And do you provide training to your volunteers once they sign up?
That's a big oh yes. So all volunteers are first oriented to the Red Cross broadly, and then onboarded and trained to their specific role. The training varies greatly from role to role. Again, this training is free, and it's a combination of on-the-job training, online training, and then in non-COVID times, we would also have an in-person training element. We are able to pivot and accomplish all of that online right now. We also, which is pretty neat, offer a leadership development program. So there's lots of room to grow within one's skill set and the opportunity to rise into supervisory roles. And what I like to say is, this is a great opportunity to make a difference in your community, but it's also a great resume builder.
Absolutely. And quickly, how would someone volunteer then?
So really simple, you can just go to redcross.org/volunteer.
Okay, and Kevin, giving blood. We need it. And what do you need most there?
Type O is most in need at this point. But again, any donation is greatly appreciated.
Okay, so, and for volunteers locally and across the country, we need you. So thank you both for joining us, Kevin Mazuzin and Jennifer Costa of the American Red Cross of Northern New England. Thank you both for joining us.
Thank you.
And thank you for joining us across the fence. I'm Fran Stoddard. Stay well.